The universe has a story, a grand, sweeping narrative that stretches across unimaginable gulfs of time. It's a story that begins in an instant of pure, searing light, and one that concludes in a cold, eternal silence, a future so distant it strains the very limits of our imagination. This is the timeline of everything. It all begins with a single cataclysmic event, the Big Bang. 13.8 billion years ago, there was nothing. No space, no time, no matter. And then, boom. In a fraction of a second, everything we know and everything we don't came into existence. Space itself unfurled, expanding faster than the speed of light in a process called cosmic inflation. The fundamental forces that govern reality, gravity, electromagnetism, the strong and weak nuclear forces, separated and took their distinct forms. In the first few minutes, as this infant universe cooled just enough, the very first atomic nuclei were forged. Hydrogen and helium, the building blocks of the stars. For the next 380,000 years, the cosmos was a hot, dense, opaque soup of particles and energy. Light was trapped, unable to travel freely. Then, a crucial milestone was reached. The universe cooled enough for electrons to be captured by nuclei, forming the first stable atoms. Suddenly, the fog lifted. Light was set free, and for the first time, it streamed across the cosmos. This first light, stretched and cooled over billions of years, is something we can still detect today. We call it the cosmic microwave background radiation, a faint, ghostly afterglow of creation itself, a baby picture of our universe. For hundreds of millions of years following that first light, the universe was a vast, dark, and relatively simple place, filled with enormous clouds of hydrogen and helium gas. But a patient, relentless force was at work: gravity. Slowly, imperceptibly, it began to pull these primordial gases together. Clumps formed, growing denser and denser, hotter and hotter at their cores. Eventually, the pressure and temperature inside these collapsing clouds became so immense that a new kind of fire was lit. Nuclear fusion ignited. The first stars were born. These were not like the stars we see today. They were giants, hundreds of times more massive than our own sun, and they burned with a brilliant blue-white intensity. They lived fast and died young, exploding in spectacular supernovae after only a few million years. But in their fiery deaths, they performed a vital cosmic alchemy. They forged heavier elements, carbon, oxygen, iron, and scattered them across space. These enriched clouds of gas and dust then collapsed to form the next generation of stars, and along with them something new began to take shape: galaxies. Gravity herded stars together into colossal, swirling islands of light, each containing billions or even hundreds of billions of suns, all dancing in an intricate ballet across the infinite dark ocean of space. Fast forward about 9 billion years. In a quiet, unremarkable spiral arm of a galaxy we now call the Milky Way, a new cloud of gas and dust, enriched by the ashes of long-dead stars, began to collapse under its own gravity. At its center, a new star ignited, a fairly average yellow dwarf star we call the Sun. Around it, the remaining material flattened into a spinning disk. Over millions of years, tiny grains of dust within this disk stuck together, forming pebbles, then rocks, then boulders, and eventually planetesimals. These planetesimals collided and merged, growing larger and larger in a chaotic cosmic demolition derby. From this violent process, the planets of our solar system were born. Among them, in a region not too hot and not too cold, was a rocky world, the third from its star, a world we call Earth. Its early days were hellish. It was a molten ball, constantly bombarded by asteroids and comets. Volcanoes spewed gas and lava, and the oceans, delivered by icy comets, boiled under a toxic sky. It was a hostile and violent place, but deep within those turbulent waters, against all odds, life was about to find a way. The first life on Earth was unimaginably simple. Single-celled microorganisms thriving near volcanic vents on the ocean floor. For billions of years, life remained microscopic, slowly and patiently transforming the planet. Some of these tiny organisms, cyanobacteria, learned a new trick: photosynthesis. They began to harness the power of the sun, and in doing so, they released a waste product: oxygen. This waste was toxic to most life at the time, but it utterly terraformed our world, creating the breathable atmosphere we depend on. Life exploded in diversity. Simple cells banded together to form complex organisms. Creatures developed shells, skeletons, and fins. Life crawled out of the oceans and onto the land. Plants grew into towering forests. Fish evolved into amphibians, then reptiles, and then, after a cataclysmic asteroid impact wiped out the dinosaurs, mammals rose to prominence. And finally, in what is a mere blink of an eye on the cosmic timescale, one species of primate developed a large brain, opposable thumbs, and an insatiable curiosity. Humanity became aware of itself and the universe that had created it. Here we are today. 13.8 billion years after the Big Bang, we stand on this small blue planet. Looking up, we have built incredible tools, not just of stone and metal, but of mathematics and physics. With telescopes, we peer across billions of light years, capturing images of galaxies as they were when the universe was just a fraction of its current age. We listen to the echoes of creation in the cosmic microwave background. We have sent robotic emissaries to walk on Mars, to fly through the rings of Saturn, and to journey beyond the boundaries of our own solar system. We build colossal machines, particle accelerators, to smash atoms together, momentarily recreating the conditions of the first microsecond of the universe's existence, trying to read the first words in the book of creation. We've learned that we are made of stardust, that the iron in our blood and the calcium in our bones were forged in the hearts of dying stars. It's a breathtaking moment of awareness, but we must remain humble. If the entire history of the universe were compressed into a single calendar year, all of recorded human history would take up only the last few seconds before midnight on December 31st. We are less than a heartbeat in the life of the cosmos. And what of the future? The story of the universe is far from over. Billions of years from now, our cosmic neighborhood will change dramatically. Our own Milky Way galaxy is on a collision course with our neighbor, Andromeda. The two will merge in a spectacular slow-motion dance of stars, forming a new, giant, elliptical galaxy. Our sun, like all stars, will eventually run out of fuel. In about 5 billion years, it will swell into a red giant, engulfing Mercury and Venus and scorching the Earth into a lifeless cinder. Afterwards, it will shed its outer layers and shrink down to a white dwarf, a cooling, dense ember that will slowly fade over trillions of years. On a grander scale, the universe's expansion, which began with the Big Bang, is accelerating. Galaxies will drift further and further apart. The night sky, once filled with countless points of light, will grow dark and empty as distant galaxies recede beyond our view. Eventually, star formation will cease. The universe will be dominated by the remnants of dead stars and the silent gravitational pull of black holes. And even they, through a process known as Hawking radiation, will eventually evaporate over timescales so vast they defy human comprehension. Finally, the universe will approach a state of maximum entropy, what scientists call the heat death. Everything will be cold, dark, and uniform. All motion will cease. Time itself may lose its meaning. A final, unending silence. The story of the universe is a tale of epic scale, of violent birth and cold, silent death. It is vast, beautiful, and at times terrifying. We are but one small chapter in this immense cosmic novel, a brief, flickering moment of consciousness on a tiny speck of dust. But what a chapter we are. We are the part of the universe that has woken up. We are the part that can look back to the beginning with wonder and forward to the future with a mix of awe and trepidation. We can comprehend the story. We can tell the story. And perhaps, through our intelligence and our technology, we can shape our own small part of its future. This is our timeline. This is our universe. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed this exploration of space and time, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more cosmic adventures. We'll see you in the next one.
Cosmic secrets revealed. Beyond time, beyond space, beyond imagination.